Lee. Today I want to talk about this idea of balance. Are you balanced? There's so many ways to think about that. Are you balanced between your body, mind, and your spirit? Are you balanced in the major areas of your life? Spirituality, financial, health, career, and relationships? Are you balanced in how you eat, the timing of your eating? Are you balanced in where you allocate your time on relationships? Are you giving the right amount of time to relationships that nourish and serve you, support you? Or are you giving time to things that take you out of balance? Because what I've come to understand is that when we're out of balance, it's because we have an unrealistic expectation. We have an expectation that things can be one sided, that we can be happy all the time. What a great laugh. You're not going to be happy all the time. We live in contrast. But when you can get into the observer mode and you can look at life and you can see all sides of a situation, for that brief moment, you're in balance. That's also a state of homeostasis with the body. And when the body's in a state of homeostasis, there's no stress. When there's no stress, the body can perform what it's meant to do, and it can do anything. Your body is an incredible, incredible healing machine. But when we come out of stress, we allow the body to do what it does. Not only the body, but the mind. And so it all comes back to balance. The Eastern mystics, Buddha and other mystics from that realm called it the state of equanimity, to live equanimously, knowing that everything is in balance all the time. You see, even when you break down the idea of forgiveness, forgiveness is a simple act. It's about not seeing that you were just hurt or you hurt someone, but to see as well that there was a benefit and that the benefit of what happened was equal to the hurt that what happened. It's hard for us to believe that, but there's always balance in every situation because the universe is in balance. There is a scale, and the more weight we put on one side, the other side gets balanced, but you've got to be able to see it. And most people don't believe that there's good in things. Think about a time when you got let go from a job, if that ever happened to you. That happened for me several times. 1, 2, 3, 3 times. Then, well, not only did let go, but you left the job. Guess what happens? A better one. There's always balance. When things get really negative, when they get dark for you, when they get painful for you or suffering for you, that's your inner emotions waking you up to see, to look for the balance. Do you get it? Look for the balance. It's always there. You will always be equally challenged and equally supported. It's interesting. I realized that several months back when I was thinking about my former prayer partner, Marcia. And she made her transition about 1.5 years ago. She left the planet, left her body. And Marcia was an integral part of my life, a major part of my life. And I finally saw where the balance was. I finally saw that there was no void in my life, that void had been filled. It had been filled in a different way. It wasn't filled by one person. It was filled by about five people, and it was a group thing. And so I just had to open myself up to realize that the universe does not leave a vacuum. Do you get that? And when you think about that, the universe does not leave a vacuum. It means it will always show you that life is in balance as much as it is to your chagrin. Wait a second, I'm in the best place ever. How can there be balance? Trust me, there's balance. It'll make its way known. Have you ever been in your life and you said, my God, if this one person, if I could just learn to deal with this one person, or if this one person would just get out of my life, it would be so much easier for me. And then something happens, and that person's no longer in your life. But guess what? Someone else appears and takes their place. And you're now challenged just as much as you were before. It may be different, may look different, but you're challenged as much as before. Why? The universe doesn't leave a void. It will always bring challenge and it will always bring support. Now, the question is, are you aware of it? Are you aware of it? Interesting thing. When you put your stuff like I do, put my spiritual teachings out there, and I'm out there because I've got two different podcast channels. I've got my YouTube channels. I've got my Facebook. I got my Instagram. I got my TikTok. I got my LinkedIn. I got my Twitter. I got my email account. So I'm putting out messages all over the place, all over the place. And then yesterday, I got this message with this link, and in it were a couple Christian ministers who have a podcast. And the opening, and then the second clip in their video was me. And they were talking about toxic positivity. And they went into the origins and history of New Thought. And they talked about how it's all made up, how it's all BS, how it's not biblically aligned, and how we use the Bible to manipulate it the way we want, and all of this. And I sat there and smiled. I wasn't upset. You're going to get pushback. You're always going to get pushback because people are invested in what they think. Here's the key. You want to know the key to being balanced? Be flexible. If you're not flexible, there's no way you can get balance. Flexibility is the key, and to be the observer and to see things in new ways. That's why it's really big to have people in your life who don't just agree with you, they challenge you. That makes life bigger, better, more fun. Because a lot of times these other people have things in their lives that you've never even thought of. And then when you get exposed to them, you have a greater and greater and greater experience. I love it. I hope you love it as much. I hope you learn to love it as much. See, when we balance our perspective, we can heal physically and emotionally. That's where the healing takes place. It doesn't take place with the doctors. The doctors don't heal. The doctors give relief to symptoms in the body. So when the symptoms are eased, the body can heal itself. Did you get that? The body heals itself. It knows how to heal. But when we have stress, when we're living in an unbalanced life, healing is much more difficult. So try to bring balance into your life. It's a never-ending job. The second you get into balance, you're going to get out of balance. Just know that. That's part of the process. That's part of being in the body, being with an ego. You're going to come out of balance. Your job is to get back in, reclaim your power, come back to the observer, fully experience everything in life. Because that's why we're here. We're not here to please anyone. We're here to experience life the only way we can, uniquely as us. With that, make it a great experience today and know that you are loved. Until tomorrow, aloha.